Getting Real, empowered with your host, Daniel Craig Johnson. This is where we come together and we talk about our shadows, about our suppressed persona, and how we can integrate the unspoken to become full and authentic human beings. This is a holding space for everyone, and I hope that you join me on this exhilarating ride of honesty and vulnerability. Welcome back, tribe. It is Wednesday and it is time for Getting Real. I am glad that you are back and I hope that you enjoyed the last week's episode. This week, I want to talk to you about one of the spectacular stories that played out in my life. The episode is called Why Visualization Isn't a Fluke, the day I met Michael Jackson. And yes, it is real. I've met Michael Jackson not only once in person, and how that has happened, I will share with you today in this episode. These stories are really close to my heart. They're very personal, but I want to combine the lessons of my life and the things that I've learned with stories that played out in my life and helped me along the way and made me who I am. And I'm sure that that is something that you can resonate with. So today, let's get right into it. Visualization often gets a reputation as a mystical practice, something reserved for dreamers and wishful thinkers. And very often I've been called that when I was young. But the truth is, visualization is far more practical than we give it credit for. It's not about magical thinking or simply wishing your dreams into existence. It's instead about harnessing the power of your mind to change your attitudes, your actions, and ultimately your reality. I come from a very humble background. Growing up, resources were scarce and opportunities were limited. We were 4 children with 1 dead sibling, and we really didn't have it easy. But what I did have and what never died in me, no matter how hard our lives were, was that I had big dreams. As a child, one of my greatest aspirations was to dance like Michael Jackson, dress like him. I was crazy about his music. I had everything of him that I could get my hands on with my limited resources. I watched every TV show, anything that had to do with him. I didn't just admire him. I wanted to be like him at that age. I listened to his music obsessively. I grew my hair out and did my best to imitate his style with the clothes I had, even if they were sometimes my mother's. And that's not a joke. I really did that. I wore them because some of their clothes in the 70s, they really looked like those old school clothes that something like Michael Jackson would wear, even in the 80s. And that's why sometimes when she had some crazy stuff, I took that so that I can dress like him. I had an unwavering belief that I would one day meet him, and I refused to let go of that dream. So let me take you back to the beginning of that journey. My journey towards making that dream a reality wasn't a straight path. It wasn't something that I had figured out at all. It began with working for a security company that also did stage construction, and the pay was minimal. The hours were long. You had to work so hard. But I had hope. I believed that if I worked hard, I could maybe climb the ladder and get closer to the world of concerts and performers, where I might one day cross paths with my idol. At first, I was just another guy tearing tickets at the entrance of concerts, far removed from the action inside the stadium. And I did that quite a few times. But I remained determined, and I came back and I did the work, and I worked hard, and I was known for working hard. I visualized myself not just hearing the music echo from within, but actively being inside, witnessing the performances firsthand. And little did I know my persistence and hard work were slowly paving the way for something extraordinary. What was the breakthrough from ticket tearing to backstage? Well, the day came where I received news that our team would be working on Michael Jackson's Heal the World tour. My heart was racing with excitement. Though I was assigned to tear tickets at the entrance, just the thought of being close to the music was thrilling to me. It was like a dream come true. That would have been more than enough for me. I held on to that vision in my head, just keeping on to work diligently, because not that I wanted it, but I had that little hope that maybe something could happen and I would maybe at least get a glance of him at stage. And then came the day where something incredible happened. The team backstage was really struggling to communicate with Michael Jackson's American crew due to language barriers. They were speaking slang and no one really was speaking the American slang. Everyone had a bit of school English, but English wasn't so much common as it is these days. And in a moment of serendipity, someone remembered that I had a half American background and suggested I could help with the translation. And just like that, I found myself backstage, one step closer to my dream. And as the day progressed, I ended up taking on more and more responsibilities. I was just there to help my friend, which, by the way, was the guy that brought me into the security company. He was in charge of the backstage. I was just outside, allocated to tear tickets and help with taking down stuff and just construction around the concert area and small little security jobs. So then I was there in the backstage and I got a radio and I was literally just there to help him translate, do small little errands for him, and that's how the day progressed. And then what happened is more and more communication started happening. He left and disappeared. He was so drowned in work and he had to go outside and did a multitude of things. And eventually he just didn't keep up anymore with communicating with them. And then he wasn't available. They couldn't get hold of him. Radio wasn't getting through to him. So by the end of the night, I just started doing everything myself. Every instruction that came in, I asked the crew, what can I do for you? I even communicated with his bodyguards. They told me small little things that they needed backstage, and I helped with it. And I carried on and I carried on. And at the end of the day, I even made it down to the pit where I caught a glimpse of Michael Jackson performing, just 5 arms length away from me. And let's get real, guys. I don't have to tell you what that meant to me. I mean, that was my live stream and I had made it. I just saw him standing there on stage, performing, dancing. It was just incredible. And the dream that I had was realized. This was enough for me. I saw him. He was just a bit away from me, maybe 5 arms length. That was how far he was away. But let me tell you, the story doesn't end there. At the next concert, I was specifically requested to be backstage again. Obviously, my work ethic had been noticed. They recognized that I was a hard worker, that I was everywhere, and I did everything that they wanted from me. And now I was actually standing at the entrance to Michael Jackson's dressing room. And then I tell you what happened. The moment I had visualized for so long, Michael Jackson himself, flanked by his bodyguards, walked up the stairs, and he lifted his head, looked at me, and greeted me with a smile. And there was my childhood dream that had come true. And trust me, I was about to pass out. I wanted to jump him. I wanted to hold onto him and scream like a groupie. But obviously, I kept my composure and I said, "Hello, Mr. Jackson. I hope you have a great show." And he walked past and I was exploding inside. I thought my body is just going to rapture and I'm just going to dissolve into the universe. That's how incredible it was for me. I mean, if you can just follow my story, I don't have to tell you what a moment that was. From literally just working for a security company to do construction. And when I say construction, that really was like tearing down walls. They had a construction part of the company. I worked hard. I removed rubble. And then eventually they took me onto the concerts and I was allowed to do small little stuff like soccer games inside, securing gates and stuff like that. And that's where it got me, my relentlessness in believing it and doing those things. I didn't just meet him. I ended up working on parts of his world tour, meeting other artists and receiving personal thanks at the end from Michael Jackson's uncle and his bodyguards, which said that I was one of the best security guys they ever worked with. And this experience wasn't just a dream fulfilled. It became a turning point in my life and career and in my belief that when you want something and you dream of it big enough, something inside of you changes. And it's not like it's a magic wand, but when you start thinking that way and you really focus on something, it changes your attitude and your chemistry and you start behaving like you dare, and I think that makes it possible. So what's the deeper meaning of visualization? My story isn't about magic or luck. It's about the power of visualization to change our internal state and drive our actions. Visualization isn't just about dreaming. It's about creating a clear picture of what you want and then aligning your thoughts, attitudes, and efforts toward making that vision a reality. When you visualize your goals, you start to believe in their possibility. This belief shifts your mindset from one of doubt to one of determination. It's this shift exactly that makes you willing to put in the hard work, to persevere through challenges, and to seize any opportunities when they arise. So what does this little personal story teach us? What can we learn from it? Well, visualization teaches us several valuable lessons. One, clarity of vision drives action. When you have a clear vision of what you want, it becomes easier to take the necessary steps to achieve it. Visualization helps you focus on your goals and prioritize your actions accordingly. Beliefs fuel persistence. Believing in your vision gives you the strength to keep going, even when the road gets tough. Visualization nurtures this belief by constantly reminding you of what's possible. Visualization aligns your mindset. It helps shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, and you keep going. When you visualize that success in that dream, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. And action is the key. Visualization is not a passive process. It requires action. And the more you visualize your goals, the more motivated you become to take steps needed to achieve them. And the universe responds to energy. When you visualize your goals and channel your energy into them, like I did it in my little personal story, you create a powerful force that attracts opportunities and resources. This isn't about mysticism. It's about the natural law of cause and effect. Let me give you 5 tips to apply visualization in your life so that you can maybe have a story outcome like I had. Create a clear vision. Start by defining what you truly want. Be specific, whether it's a career goal, a personal achievement, or a dream like meeting your idol, like I had. Create a vivid mental image of what that looks like. Visualize daily. Make visualization a daily practice. Spend a few minutes each day picturing your goal as if it has already been achieved. Feel the emotions, experience the joy, and let that vision sink into your subconscious. Take aligned actions. Visualization is powerful, but it needs to be backed by action. Like I did, I carried on working hard and I believed in myself. Identify the steps you need to take to move closer to your goal and commit to taking those actions regularly. Like I did working for the security company, even if I was just clearing rubble. But I knew maybe there was a chance, some slight chance, that I could maybe get past that and get to where I needed to be. And stay open to opportunities. Visualization helps you stay attuned to opportunities that align with your goals. Be open to unexpected chances that may come your way. Even if they don't seem directly related to your vision at first, they might still take you there. And persist through challenges. Challenges are inevitable along the way. I had many of them. In that time, I sometimes didn't have a roof over my head. I didn't have food. I didn't have money. The pay that they gave us barely lasted to buy yourself something to drink and something to eat on that day. And when you came home, you were just as broke as before. But there was something that told me, if I keep on doing this long enough, something good will happen in my life. Challenges are inevitable. But if you visualize, you can stay focused and persistent. And when you encounter obstacles, return to your vision. Let it remind you why you're working so hard and give you the motivation to keep going. So what's the payoff? Well, I don't have to tell you what my payoff was, but it is about turning your dreams into reality. It's not about wishful thinking or waiting for things to happen. It's about actively shaping your future through the power of your mind and actions. When you practice visualization, you align your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with your goals. And this alignment creates a powerful momentum that propels you forward, even when the path is unclear or challenging. And over time, you'll find that your dreams start to manifest, not because of luck, but because you've worked tirelessly to bring them to life. And in the end, visualization is about believing in the possibilities of your dreams and taking the steps to make them happen. No matter where you start, no dream is too big and no vision is too far-fetched. With the right mindset, determination, and actions, you can turn even the most improbable dream into reality. And I am living proof for that. So I want to challenge you to go out there, visualize, take action, act as if you're already that person that you want to be. Act as if you already have that job that you want so badly. And those things will change your life. Listen to this over and over again, make notes, write down the steps, and take action towards your dreams. And I want to encourage you to never stop dreaming. Because if I had stopped dreaming, many things in my life would have not happened the way that they did. So I want to encourage you to go out there and make your dreams reality. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I see you again next Monday on the 15-Minute Monday. This was it, Getting Real with Daniel Craig Johnson, your host. Take care.